What up, IDS Mob? It's your boy, HarryWilmington here. And today we're going to be answering five men's questions about dating. Usually I just do one question and I answer it long form, but not every question that gets asked needs to have a long answer. So I'm going to go through these questions bit by bit, and hopefully this will help you guys out in your dating journey. So let's get to the first question. This guy wants to know, do women who aren't interested in you romantically actually want to be friends, or are they just being kind and letting you down easy? And he goes, I went out with this girl. Date was kind of a cluster F, highs and lows everywhere. Couldn't really get a good read on her. I tell her I think she's super cute and a lot of fun, and I would like to hang out with her again. She says she'd like to hang out again too. Well, keep in mind, guy, these aren't hangouts. These are dates. You need to be asking specifically for dates. Hanging out is very vague and loose, and it doesn't give off the indication that you're a confident guy that is able to actually try to date her, okay? So the terminology matters. But anyway, he says, we have opposing schedules, so scheduling time to hang out is kind of whack. I give her my availability. It's when she's already got a trip with some friends planned, but she invites me to a portion of it. Part of me is sketched out because I always heard it's bad news when a girl is trying to bring you around friends, like it's friend zone kind of stuff. Unfortunately, I won't be able to make it to that specific event. Well, yeah, if she's already trying to ask you to hang out with friends, that's usually a bad sign, or at least an indicator that she's not interested in you romantically. Some people may debate that because we do have people these days that want to try to get you around their friends as soon as possible to start getting engaged. But typically, you want to save the getting together with friends aspect of the relationship like 2 to 3 months into dating, when you've had time to take her out and you've already kind of started to establish some form of solidarity with you guys' feelings for each other. So until that happens, I don't recommend the friend thing. So if she's bringing it up this early on and you're trying to say to her emphatically, hey, let's go on another date with just you and me, that's not usually a good sign that she wants you romantically. Continuing, he says, I tell her so. And I also mentioned that if she has other free time coming up, I'd like to hang out again. Again, there's that word hangout. Anyway, just let me know. If not, that's cool too. Kind of made it loaded to see if she's interested or not and find out for sure. Well, you don't really need to go through all of this. I typically go by the 2 rejection system, which is basically you ask her out for a date. She either says yes to it or she rejects it, or in this case, she wants to bring friends along, and that's not really a date. And then you wait like another week and you ask her out again. If she gives you the same old, oh, let's go out with friends, or oh, I'm too busy, yada, 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 that indicates that there's low interest. Cut, delete, cut your losses, get rid of the number, and move on to somebody else if you're trying to be with this person in a romantic sense and don't want to connect, to have a friendship of some kind. So anyway, he says, a long stretch of time goes by and she hits me up about getting a group of people together to go out. Once again, with a group of people. Part of me says that if she wasn't interested, she wouldn't hit me up at all. The other part of me says that she just wants to hang out as friends. What do you think? Well, I think that she's not interested in you romantically, and I think that she wants to hang out with you as friends. The fact that she hit you up means that she's legitimately interested in a friendship. And honestly, guys, women are way better at that. Like, women are very good at being able to categorize guys into guys that they would date, guys they hook up with, and guys that they would just hang out with for a good time, but not actually do anything romantic or physical wise with, okay? Us guys tend to be more in the era of, if we're trying to go out with a girl and take her out, that's our objective, that's our mission. If she wants to change the objective, just because she's changing it for her, doesn't mean that it changes for us. So you might still be romantically interested in her. So at this point, you have a decision to make. If she's inviting you to group things, and which is indicating that she wants a friendship, then you can go the friendship route. That's all it's ever going to be. I don't want you to go into this thing thinking, well, I can be her friend. She'll get to know me in the friends category for a while, and I can turn it into something. No, she's telling you up front, or at least indicating to you in a passive way, that this is not going to be a thing where you and her are going to ever be by yourselves again with each other in a romantic sense, okay? If you don't want to do that, then you can very well just say, no, thanks, I'm not interested. But hey, if you decide to change your mind about us, going on one-on-one dates, then hit me up. Otherwise, I wish you nothing but the best, okay? Just because she wants a friendship, which again, is a great quality to have because it's not bad to have female friends, but if that's not what you want, then it's not your job to make her happy by agreeing to the friendship route just because she's not interested anymore, okay? So get that out of your head. Next question. So this person says that his girlfriend didn't want to spend time with me on my birthday, and I think she is cheating on me. I need advice. So he goes, we've been talking about this for the past few weeks, and she seemed pretty happy about it. I guess it's referring to doing something on his birthday. He says, she asked me what I wanted for my birthday, and I didn't want anything. Just to be with her is enough. Fast forward to last Tuesday, she told me that she was going to make me a birthday cake and that she is throwing a little surprise in as well. The day before my birthday, she called me and said that she is going out with her friends tomorrow and that she can't be with me. It's been over a few days since we last talked. She is not answering my phone calls. She didn't answer my text. I called her parents and they said that she is in her room staying all day and night. They also said that she didn't want to speak with anyone. What can I do? I want to hear some advice because I'm devastated and I can't think straight. Well, she missed your birthday. She decided that she was going to go out with friends instead of celebrating your birthday. She's not accepting your calls, and her parents are saying she wants you to leave her alone. So what this means is the relationship is over, and there's nothing that you can do about it. Now, on the off chance that she decides to eventually come to you and explain what's going on and why she felt this way and what's really going on with her, then that's fine. But if that doesn't happen in the meantime, take this as a person that just broke up with you and wasn't able to actually confront you about it and talk to you about it in any way, shape, or form or capacity, which happens sometimes. Sometimes, not just women, but people in general would just be like, well, I don't want to see them anymore, so I'm just going to slip away. And it's rude. Like this girl could have said, hey, I'm not feeling it anymore. I'm out. At least give the, courtesy to you to do that. But unfortunately, not everybody's going to break up with you with that kind of grace. And it sucks because you're left hanging, but take it for what it is. These are not signals of a person that wants to be with you. These are signals of somebody that's pushing you away. So you need to leave her alone. Is it going to be hard? Yes. This is when you need to start talking to friends, family, possibly a therapist, somebody that you can talk to about this so you can get it out. But you can't try to harass her with phone calls or try to show up to her place and say, just talk to me. Like, don't do that kind of stuff because we don't want you, having some kind of case thrown against you because you weren't able to respect her wishes by staying away. All right. Sorry, you got to go through it like that. It happens. But yeah, that's pretty much all you can do is just learn to deal with it on your own and talk to other people in your circle and get out of the house and do some stuff. That way you can kind of, distract yourself from this hurt and pain. But at the same time, be willing to feel the hurt and pain. I don't want you to be one of those guys that ignores the hurt and pain, all right? Next question. This guy says his girlfriend's upset that he's walking down the aisle with another girl. Let's finish reading this before we jump to conclusions. So he says, I was chosen to be a groomsman, and I will be walking down the aisle with a bridesmaid. My girlfriend is really upset and really doesn't want to see that happen. We've asked the bride and groom if they are able if there's able to be a change in it, so I can be with one of the groomsmen, and they said no. I honestly don't want to interrupt their wedding plans and how they want to have it because it is their big day, but my significant other is really adamant about not wanting to see me walk down the aisle with another girl. You know what's interesting? I saw a video earlier today. I read an article earlier today talking about a tactic that women sometimes do, whereby they know is like they will use heightened emotions to make you feel that a situation that they're expressing or viewpointing it from whatever is higher than it actually is. And they do this because they know that as men, we're trying to protect them and we want to make sure that they're pleased with what we're doing because it's very important to us that our mates like us and want to see us as like the hero of the story and stuff like that. And so women that know this will take something that's seemingly not a big deal and blow it up to a bigger deal in the way they express it to you because they're hoping that that's going to allow them to control the situation and move the needle to where you do the thing that they want you to do. Okay? So you have to be conscious of this, that this is an example of this woman is trying to make a big deal out of this because she knows that if she does and blows it up to bigger than it needs to be, that there's a chance her guy, in order to try to keep her happy, is going to not do the thing that's not actually a big deal, okay? This happens all the time. He was probably friends with these people, and they're like, hey, we got a bridesmaid person, you're a groomsperson, and in those ceremonies, you have the bridesmaids that walk with the groomsmen down the aisle. It does not mean that they are actually romantically linked together. Oftentimes, they're strangers to each other. It does not mean they're getting married. It does not mean one person likes the other person. It means none of that. So your girl's making a big deal about this, and this is one of those things that you got to talk to her about. Now, I don't think you need to have a knockout, draw-out fight about it, but if worse comes to worse, you need to stand your ground. She's being ridiculous. You need to tell her, hey, you're being ridiculous about this. Maybe not word it like that. Maybe just say, hey, babe, I know you feel some kind of way about this, but this is how the situation's set up. They can't change it. And honestly, I don't see a problem with it. So if you have a problem with it, then you're welcome to feel however you feel about it. And we can talk about the feelings you have behind it, but it's not going to change that I'm going to still do this thing. And she may be mad at you, but honestly, I've heard so many women, just in my personal life, tell me that they hate when their guys are pushovers and that sometimes they'll actually try to test them and push their buttons just to see how they're going to respond. A lot of times women are trying to see how you respond because they need to know if push comes to shove, like say she does something where like, it's just like the worst thing ever. Are you going to slap her in the face? You're going to punch her? Are you going to try to push her down or do whatever? And so she needs to actually see how you handle it when she comes up to you with some kind of conflict, okay? So this is your test and your chance to be able to actually like go to her and have the conflict resolution that you need to have about this while still standing your ground and still saying unequivocally, I'm doing this thing. And so if it hurts your feelings, it's not intended to do that. And you can feel whatever you want to feel. That does not mean that's going to stop me from doing the thing. She may be mad about it. Let her be mad about it. Because honestly, this is one of those things where it's not a big deal. And if she wants to throw a temper tantrum, then you can either, have the conversation and hopefully she'll get over it, or this may not be the woman for you. If this is not the first time this has happened, where she's taken an incident that's not a big deal and blown it into a bigger portion than it needs to be, then you need to start deciding, are the things that she's throwing fights about reasonable, and are they things that I want to consistently experience? And if not, you have the right to walk away from that. If you decide to stay in it, fine. Know that this is going to be a discussion, but that does not mean you have to back down. Again, nothing you're doing in this situation is wrong, so there's no need to feel bad about it. Let's see. Next question. Oh God, this is a good one. Okay, I'm gonna be nice with the words for this, but it's the title is "My Girlfriend's Big," we'll say, bedroom toy makes me feel self-conscious. And he says, so we've been together for many months. I'm 22, she's 22. I'm not generally insecure about my size or anything, and I believe it doesn't really matter, and compatibility does. My girlfriend has a bedroom toy, which she likes me to use on her while I'm down there going to Chowtown, I'll say. She loves it, and I love how good it makes her feel, but sometimes it makes me a bit self-conscious that the toy is so much bigger than me. She also tells me not to put it all the way in because she says it's too big and it hurts. Could she be lying to not make me insecure? Then he says, I definitely know that even a bit above average size would hurt some women, let alone big ones. And I definitely know that it is all about compatibility. It's just my anxiety ruining my logic. Then he says, she also tells me how good I feel inside her, etc. Again, I love going to Chowtown while I use her bedroom toy. I love how much she moans and enjoys it, especially combined with my tongue. I love watching her enjoy herself, and I know that it is pointless to compare myself with a non-living object. It's only sometimes that this weird insecurity kicks in. How do I deal with this? Well, yeah. Well, to the first part, it is very, very true. As a guy that is, I'll say like average size, I guess, but even me at average size, like I'll still have women say, hey, like don't go in all the way because I can feel it at some point where it starts to hurt or hit against the wall or whatever, okay? So recognizing that is actually a thing. But that said, these toys, I don't know if this is a toy that vibrates or maybe it's got a certain type of texture to it that's just really appealing to her. But the point is that the toy and you are two different entities. The texture and the way that you feel going into her is drastically at times different from how it toys. And so she might just want both sensations. She might want the sensations of the toy first and feel the sensation of the toy while she's also feeling the sensation of your mouth. And then later on, want to just feel the sensation of you and what you have to bring to the proceedings, okay? So recognize this is a normal thing whereby the toy is part of the overall bedroom experience for her. And so she's not saying, well, I want to feel the toy because it's so much better than him, then I guess I'll take him if once the toy's done. Like, that's not a thought that's going on in her head, okay? She's enjoying all these various sensations that are coming to the table, okay? And what you bring is part of that sensation. So don't think of it as, is one better than the other? Think of it as she is getting the complete experience with both the toy, with both your mouth, and with your package as well, okay? So yeah, I know you may get in your head about it, but she's legitimately telling you the truth, okay? So don't let your anxiety take over and start thinking extra thoughts about this more deep than she's taking it, okay? She told you exactly how it is, so take her at her word. Now, if you start finding her playing with the toy more often than she's trying to play with you, that's when you'd want to start questioning that. But assuming that's not happening, then take her at her word. And the last question. This guy says, girls have told me I'm less of a man for having a pet cat. This is a real thing. And I'm reading this one because sometimes women listen to these shows and hear things and they say like, oh, that's not a thing that women care about. And women don't do those things, or because they themselves don't do things, it's like they figure that the things that we talk about as men are anomalies. And this is one of those things. I've done shows before where I say that, sometimes women will call out things on guys that shouldn't be things. Like, a guy saying, oh, he's into romantic comedies. Some women will look down upon that for no reason other than it feels like it's too feminine, and they don't want their guy to have any level of femininity in them at all because it makes them seem less masculine. They might possibly be gay, et cetera, et cetera. So let's see what this guy says. This guy says, multiple girls have told me, quote, I'm quoting this guy, cats are gay, men don't like cats are for girls, you're a B word if you like a cat, if you have a cat, and I'm going to get rid of your cat. He says, how would you respond? And then he says, turns out that my 2 cats are a huge part of what attracted my current girlfriend of 2+ years, who also has 2 cats. We live together with all 4 cats. Everything in our house is decorated with cats. We want more cats, but we know that 4 is a lot, okay? So yeah, to this guy's point, if you're dating a woman or you're going on a date with her and you start mentioning things that traditionally would be considered something that women would like I said, cats, romantic women's, possibly the romantic movies, possibly the color pink, baking sometimes, eating salads. These are legit things that women out there will complain about, saying, oh, if a guy does any of these things. I've heard women tell me, if I see a guy order a salad on a date, then I'm going to not date him because he needs to order a meal that's more masculine than my meal. Okay. I've heard these things legit. So understand that there's a wide spectrum of women out there, and the majority of women, honestly, are probably not going to care about some of these things. But there are things here and there that you may hear more women than not complain about and say, well, that's more of a female thing. If I see a guy doing these certain things, then I'm going to assume he's some kind of way or not really masculine, and I'm out. And you know what? You don't need to date those women, because I'm telling you right now, for every, say, 5 or 6 women that'll say, well, I don't want a guy that's doing these feminine things, there's 5 or 6 more women out there that are like, look, if he treats me right, he can watch all the romantic comedies he wants to. He can have as many cats as he wants to. He can wear all the pink shirts he wants to, as long as he's treating me right. All right, guys? So recognize that, yes, there is a level of being mindful, at least, especially when you first start dating women, like being mindful of like what things you could potentially be judged on. But ultimately, at the end of the day, a woman that likes you and knows that you have character and you're kind to her and you're caring and she sees that she has a lot of good in you, she's not going to really care about these superficial things. Fast forward to, you're in your 60s and 70s and your wife's now got cancer and you're taking her to the doctor and hospital every day to get her medicine and get chemo and stuff like that. She's not going to go home and say, well, I'm losing interest because you're wearing that pink shirt again. Because there's so many more important things about a relationship other than these superficial things that women are determining are quote unquote too feminine for you to do. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you need to go on these dates and brag about this stuff either. Like, these are things like she can find out about you as you're dating. Like, oh, you want to see romantic comedy? Well, I want to see it too. Oh, you do? That's so amazing. Oh my God. But so you don't have to like brag about all the feminine things that you like or the traditionally standard, stereotypical feminine things that you like on these dates. But if they happen to come out, again, don't be ashamed of it. So those are the questions. I said, I don't think any of those need to take a whole 20-minute show to do. So I just did all 5 of these in an 18, 20-minute show. But hopefully you got some lessons out of that. And if you want a question answered on one of these shows, you can write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com. Or if you're watching the video on this at youtube.com/HarryWilmington, just leave it in the comments, okay? Also, subscribe to the channel to show your support. And you can also show your support monetarily by going to introvertdatingsuccess.com, clicking on the tip jar tab, and showing your support monetarily that way, all right? And of course, go to the website to check out my eBooks, audiobooks, and various programs that are designed to help you date as your introverted self while still getting your precious alone time. That's it. That's all I got. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.